working on the review for Unit 4, and here's how it looks. First thing we have to do is we have to change this decimal degree problem, so we're going to need to use our calculator, and we would just press the number 37 degrees 50, and then when you press the degree key again, it just looks like it's going to be degrees. But then when you press equals, it shifts all over. But if you want your answer as a decimal, then you would press the degree key again. Next one, what is the degree minute second equivalent? So you would press 37.081111 degrees, and then when you press equals, it will shift it into degrees minutes seconds. For the radian equivalent, you're going to need to know something about radians, and that is that in a circle there are 2 pi radians, but there are also 360 degrees. Oops. So since we have 49.831389 degrees is 360, as 2 pi is to our answer. So we'll just take on our calculator 2 shift pi times 49.831389, and then divide by 360, and that'll be your answer. Next one. Going the other direction, you would set it up the other way. Since you're given the radians, you would take 0.1206 radians times the 360 degrees, and then you would divide by 2 pi, and that will be your answer. Next one, find the length of a ramp used to roll freight up a loading dock. Okay, so we've got to have a loading dock that is 3.2 feet high, 7.04 feet out. And so we would use the calculator square root key. This is the Pythagorean theorem, 7.04 squared plus 3.2 squared. And then when you press equals, you will get your answer. Next one. Find the distance between these points. Okay. Same kind of a thing. You've got the points back 9, up 8, and forward 5, down 6. And you want to find how far apart they are, or in other words, find the Pythagorean theorem there. And so you would take the square root of the x coordinates, which is -9 minus 5 squared, and then plus 8 minus -6 squared. So that's just the way you'd press it on your calculator. Square root key, parentheses key, -9 minus 5, close parentheses, and then you would square it, add 8 minus -6, close parentheses, squared, and then when you press equals, you'll get your answer. Next one. Complement means they add up to 90, so you would just press 90, subtract 71, and that'll be your complementary angle. Find the angle. Remember, when you're looking for the angle on your calculator, you can press shift, because looking for the angle, you would press shift cosine, 10.92357.6, and you have to make sure your calculator is in degrees here. If it's not, you'll have to go Shift, Setup, and press number 3 degrees. And then when you press equals, it'll give you the angle in degrees. Next one. Okay, we've got a triangle here. We want to know how big angle A is. C is 10.2. A is 4.15. Well, we can use the law of sines because the sine of a 90 and then the sine of A, 90 is opposite the 10.2 side, 4.15 is opposite angle A. So on our calculator, we are going to have, since we're looking for the angle, we have to press Shift Sine. So we're looking for the sine of angle A, and we take 10.2. Oops. Let's back that baby up. We are going to take 4.15 times sine 90 divided by 10.2, and so that will give us the angle in degrees because we're still in degrees here. Next one. This triangle is not a right triangle. Okay, angle A is 50 degrees, angle B is 65 degrees, A is 40.1. Find this side C. Well, sine of a 50 is opposite 40.1. We know that this angle C is 75. No, 65 is right, because 65 plus 65 plus 50 adds up to 180. And so we know that angle is 65. So over the sine of a 65 will give us side C. And so we'll just cross multiply and divide. 40, oops. Let's do the sine first. Sine 65, close parentheses, times 40.1 divided by sine 650, close parentheses, and then when we press equals, it will tell us the answer. Next one. Okay, A is 118 degrees, C is 30.5 degrees, A is 39.5 centimeters, and find B. Okay, well, you can't use the law of sines here because we have a side and an angle and two sides. So if we tried to use the law of sines, we'd have a sine of 118. We'd have 30. Oh no, we can use the law of sines. 39.5 goes up there, and C is 30.5. So we can find the sine of C. Remember, if you're looking for the angle, you press Shift, Sine, and we would take 30.5 times sine of a 118, make sure you close parentheses, divided by 39.5, and when you press equals, that would be angle C. Whatever angle C is, if you take that, 118 plus angle C, or the other way to do it would be to take 180 minus 118 minus C, that will be the size of B. Next one. A is 42. A is 59.7. B is 57.3. Find angle C. Same kind of a situation. 42 over sine, oops, I'm sorry. Back that up. Sine 42 under 59.7 is something under 57.3, and that's the sine of B. We can't find C directly. We're looking for an angle, so we have to press Shift, Sine, and so we'd press 57.3 times sine of a 42, make sure you close parentheses, divided by 59.7, and when we press equals, that will be angle B. We don't want B though, we want C, so we'd take 180 minus our 42 minus B, and that will be angle C. Next one. In this triangle, A is 38.1, B is 48, C is 111 degrees. Find angle A. Okay, to find angle A, we're going to eventually use the law of sines. We have 38.1 over sine A. That's related to let's see, sine of C, or let's do sine of, sine of C will be related to that 111 degrees. But we have to find C first. C is the square root of A squared, 38.1, plus B squared, 48 squared, subtract 2 times A times B times cosine of 111. So make sure you've got your calculator set in degree mode, which we do, and we would have, square root key, 38.1 squared plus 48 squared minus 2 times 38.1 times 48 times cosine 111, and we get 71.17. Now we can use our calculator. Now we can use our calculator and press, since we're looking for an angle, we'll press Shift Sine 38.1 times sine 111 divided by, now it's possible I don't have the right answer there, but whatever answer you get for C, you would put in and press equals, and that will be how big that angle is. That is the hardest question on the test. Next one. Angle of elevation to the cliff is 51 degrees. Okay, so you're looking up at the cliff, and this angle is 51 degrees. At a point 46.2 feet from the base, how high is the cliff? Well, if you notice, this is opposite and adjacent, so tangent 51 is opposite, what we're looking for, divided by 46.2. To get that remaining side, you'd multiply both sides by 46.2, so you have tangent 51 times 46.2. So on our calculator, we would press tangent, make sure you're in degree mode, 51, close the parentheses, times 46.2. Times 46.2, and then you will get your answer. Next one. A roadbed rises 4.1 feet for each 53.3 feet of distance. Find the upward angle. So what we want to do is we're looking for the angle. My computer is having a hard time keeping track of everything here. Let's try it now. So we have the tangent of our angle is opposite 4.1 over 53.3. And we want it in degrees. So on our calculator, we're looking for the tangent. We're looking for the angle, so we want the shift tangent fraction 4.1 over 53.3, and then we would get our angle. Next one. A forester needs to know the height of a tree. The angle of the sun from the horizontal plane to the end of the shadow. Oops, why is that not working? Let's try it again. All right. So, a forester needs to know the height of a tree. There's the tree. The angle of the sun is 35 degrees. If she was, I don't have the distance down. We got to get the distance here. If she was 128.5 feet from the tree, how tall was the tree? Tangent of a 35 is opposite over adjacent. Multiply those two together. So on our calculator, we would take 128.5 times tangent 35, and then when we pressed equal, that would be how tall the tree is. Next one. screen for radar shows an aircraft is 14 miles from the screen to the aircraft at an elevation of 24 degrees. How high is the airplane in miles? So we've got sine of a 24 is the opposite over 14. So to get our answer, we would just multiply the sine of a 24 times 14, and that would be the height. Next one. This one is a lot easier than it looks like, and the thing is, if you let numbers fool around with your brain, you will get yourself into trouble. You don't need to do, well, there's a couple ways to do it. The first way to do it is to just see where is it at 4 seconds. If you notice it's below, so it's going to be negative something or another. Okay, here's how you do it though. You just take on your calculator 6 sine parentheses 4 times, and then it tells us what t is. T is 4 seconds. The important thing is, where people maybe go wrong, is that it says the angle is in radians. So you have to make sure that your calculator is in radians. Shift setup, radians is number 4, and you would get a certain number.